Alrighty, we're just waiting to make sure everything is connecting. It looks good. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, we are ready to rock and roll, everybody. So, hi there. I am Amalia Natalio of KarmicKindness, and with us is Madelaine Parker, our astrologer extraordinaire. I feel like there's another name that could be astrologer, like astrologess.
Yeah, like a high priestess and astrologer mixed.
Yeah, I think that's what you are, Madelaine. A high priestess astrologer. Yeah, combo. So Madelaine and I are here to share with you the upcoming full moon in Leo, the energy, the forecast, and we're going to be mixing things up just a little bit. We're playing around with some new things this year, and we hope that you all enjoy some of our play that we have going on. So Madelaine is going to stick with the tried and true, giving us the overarching themes of the moon and what's going on planetarily speaking. And I'm going to share with you any insights that I have, any intuitive information that's coming through. And we're also, I've kind of started this back a few months ago, but Madelaine and I were talking, and we're going to bring in what we call, in Vedic astrology, they often will offer remedies for whatever energies are coming up and what things might be showing up for people in their astrological weather. And so I'm going to continue with the flower cards from the Flower Evolution deck by LOTUSWEI, which is a flower essence company. It's not the same as Bach flower essences. It's a bit different, but similar. And for each of the signs, I'm going to pull a card that relates to that energy. Just let the universe work through us and see what remedy it has. And with the LOTUSWEI products, if there is a flower that really calls to you, you can pop over to their website and search whatever that flower is on their website and use your own intuitive knowing to be guided to either a serum, an elixir, or a mist that would be really supportive for you during that moon cycle. And if you use my name, Amalia, Amalia, at the checkout, you get 10% off your purchases. And this is not an affiliate link. This is basically a discount that I received that I'm sharing with you because I really believe in their products, and they've helped me through many, many humps. Doesn't mean it's easier. It's not like a pill that you take where like the edge is taken off and it's like you don't care about anything. It's more a very subtle, beautiful unwinding that happens. And all of a sudden you're like, wow, I feel so much better. And that thing, whatever it is, isn't bothering me like it was. So you work with the energies that are there, and you also change the energetic structure inside of you. So we've got some fun stuff ahead. Full moon on February 5th at 1:29 p.m. Eastern, 10:29 p.m. Pacific.
Yep.
Leo, heart-centered, confident, bold. This moon to me feels like, and because the energy that I've been noticing up until this, like kind of through this part of the moon cycle, this new moon in Aquarius time, is a return to self and thinking about life differently, and it's not just, it's thinking, but then also embodying. It's kind of the combination of the two. And I feel like Leo helps with that process. It's like we're shifting our mindset, but now we're actually bringing it into our heart and being able to take action from that place. Another thing that has been really showing up for me in my world is about simplicity, just keeping it simple. So going forward, don't do more than you need to, because with that Leo energy, you're going to be like, oh, this is great. And it's this very big, bold, grand energy. So be careful to not get swept away in that and just think about things in simple forms, like what really feels aligned with your heart, and take it from there. So that's my interpretation, intuitive hit on the moon. Madelaine, I would love to hear what is actually the cosmos's message for us for this Leo full moon.
Well, interesting. Yes, it is a Leo full moon, and Leo is in that axis of it is the moon opposing the sun in the sign of Aquarius. So we are looking at ourselves versus the group, the tribe, what makes us individual. And like you're right, it is a selfish energy, but it is a healthy selfish energy. It is about what is best. It is about self-love, pride of the self. And then we're opposing the sun is in the sign of Aquarius, revealing most likely. Now we have, before this full moon occurs, we have the sun squaring the nodes and squaring the south node. Actually, it's happening today and in the next couple of days. It's sort of preparing us. You're already feeling it, what it is you got to let go of. You need to really make a clear break from, because there's a square to Uranus, which is Saturn is in the sign of Saturn rules Uranus. Saturn is in the sign of Aquarius, which is the sign of it. Also, Uranus rules Aquarius. So
Uranus is playing a pretty significant role in this moon.
Yes, electric, very nervous energy, fear. There's going to be some fears coming up, because we are really, as I said, in all these lunations, recently, we really are preparing for these brand new beginnings, these sort of new chapters that are starting. So this full moon in the sign of Leo, which is the individual, it really, and versus the others, and it really is letting go and becoming clear of everything that is holding you back, because Aquarius is the energy of liberation. It is the energy of how to really, because if you're the king and Leo's the king, how do you serve your kingdom? So you're going to have to and we really are in the energies right now on a collective level for people stepping forward to doing what their calling is, because ever since that Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in 2020, we are really heeding the call to walk our own individual paths, because that's 11 means, which means I seek security through my connection with my higher self, or God, whatever you determine that to be, the force behind our existence. We are walking now on a path towards the Aquarian age, the Aquarian revolution. So we have to align ourselves with the new earth. And so we're having to really let go of these heavy baggages that are secure based, that were weighing our balloon down, that are keeping us trapped. And these are programmings in our psyche that are around our security that is from the past. And that's why the nodes are squaring, the sun is squaring the nodes before this full lunation. So we become ready to release. And it's a big T-square, and it's a fixed sign T-square, and fixed sign T-squares are challenging, especially of course for the fixed signs. But the reason they're challenging is because the fixed energy doesn't like to change. And this says, you gotta change. This has to happen. And there are things or areas in your lives, we've just gone through this long retrograde period where we haven't maybe dealt with everything, and we haven't released some of our cozy comfort entrapments, as it were. And so that really aren't for our highest good, because we've got the South Node in Scorpio. So we're releasing toxic things, toxic relationships, toxic jobs, toxic living situations, or just toxic friends. But the point is that our suitcase, like you were saying, is minimal, and we bring our baggage into this next life, only the baggage that is going to be useful for us, only that is going to empower us on this new path towards helping the world become its new earth state, which is a more galvanized planet where we're really focused on helping each other and working with each other, rather than interestingly enough, the ego pursuit of Leo. So the moon being in Leo, there has to be a selfishness about the self in order to be of service. So there's this balance. So
I love what you said about the suitcase. I think that really, paints a really clear picture around, okay, so if you're taking a trip, so we're taking a trip to this whole new way of living and being and expressing our soul's essence. And what are we taking with us? We have a limited amount of space. to carry some things along with us on this next leg of the journey and what's going to come. All your fears, all your doubts, all your worries, all your insecurities, all your not enoughness, or your excitement, your joy, your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, the things you love. And I think that makes it pretty simple to determine what you're taking.
And that's the thing that you're going to be leaving behind, because you're going to have this full moon, the square, it's going to happen. And usually I've experienced, because I've been following all these lunations, I keep them all pretty much charted and I watch them. I'm like, oh, but this square will be something happens if you have planets aspecting these planets, there's a good chance that there's something or a crisis or some kind of a forced situation put upon you, because that's what I noticed with squares. Something happens, you have no control over it. It's a slight crisis and you're going to have to deal with it, but you're going to have to let something go. It's kind of like, let's say you've been driving in a car that isn't working and it's broken down, and now you got to get rid of it. You love it. It's been secure, but you've got to get rid of it. Don't worry, the new car's coming. Or, but you also, it's almost like you're packing and leaving a house and a bunch of stuff just doesn't fit in the trunk. You're just going to have to dump it. And it's sad. But it's sort of a situation where you almost don't have choices, and you're going to have to do what it takes to either resolve the situation, put some things in alignment that need to be in alignment, because we're dealing with Saturn. So this is for the long haul. So we're having to restructure something. You have to let go of something that doesn't fit in this new structure, that is toxic. I already know what's going on in mine. I can already tell. It's relationships from the past, entanglements, financial obligations for people in the past. You have to clear those up so that you can reestablish new beginnings and new relationships and new projects that you need to not be tangled up in other things from the past. So if you haven't cleaned things or dealt with things or resolved certain issues, they're going to come up, because it's kind of like, another analogy would be your boat's in the water and it's dragging your boat back. And you got to cut that tie. You got to cut that relationship or that experience so that you can become a bigger version of your life and you and your experience. Because this really is a purging. This is because we still have another Scorpio eclipse, but remember, this is the same theme that's been going on, because it's the same it's the same fixed points in all the eclipses last year and all the lunations this year. Most of them are happening at 16 degrees or 0 degrees. So it's kind of, we're getting over something and now we're beginning something. So it's almost like we're beginning something before we've really fully finished something. We have to start beginning it, but now we got to really start dropping that, because we're over that halfway point. So now we're really letting the past go even more. And it's the past, and it's not clear for us, because we've had our human beings had our left and right brains severed. We don't have the animals. They have caught. That's why divination and tarot reading and all this stuff is important, contrary to what some people think. But the main reason is that we have brain and heart separation. So So if we had no brains, we would just be total intuitives. We would be able to feel the energies completely, and we'd align with them. So, but this way we can see the energy coming. We become conscious, aware of what's coming down the pipeline. We can see we need to clean things up. There's some areas we need to let go. It's like situations that may have been, because Saturn also sort of is shame based. So anything that was shameful, that was like, that you're not proud of, anything that sort of culminated in the last period while Saturn was in the sign of Capricorn and Aquarius, it really is sort of resolving our faulty structures that were based on false security, and so we become very aware of it. So now we're really ready. We've really realigned now. We have made a lot of structural shifts. So now we really are taking forward we've got more clarity, because it's in the sign of Aquarius. Most people are stepping forward to their callings, their Aquarian calling. Really, it's the only thing that makes us feel really alive and fulfilled and happy. And all this astrology has been doing is aligning everybody with that so much, with your true path, with the nodes in a Scorpio, which is releasing these security-based toxic situations that are holding us back from living our liberated lives. And what is a liberated life? Well, that is living your passion, living your heart, you know. And that is the message of Jesus. You know, I'm not religious, but I love the messages of Jesus a lot. And especially because it's about the heart, and you know, it's about being guided by the heart and not the head. It's bringing unity to us. So these squares, these fixed square lunations, or where has your head been attached and latched onto something that you just are having a hard time letting go of? And there's a lot of structure. There's a lot of cobwebs and entanglement around this from the past, and you're just cutting these lines and these things clear so that you can buoy up and now enter into this new chapter free. So if it comes with a crisis, you know,
I'm getting a little
there's a way
that's dropping in about that, is that there are going to be some people that have already done, they've already cleared what they need to clear, and this period of time may be very easy for them because they've let a lot of things go. There are others, however, where this might be challenging if they continue to push against what has been in front of them for a while. So it's really about just leaning into the energy that's there and recognizing that you have to deal with it. You can't keep kicking the can down the road. You know, it's time now. And did you want to show us some? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry. Yeah, well, that resistance, you know, you're tapping on that energy of the resistance, which is what a T-square really is. It's like, so if you just surrender, take the next indicated step, let it go, be okay, you know, try not to be seen. There is a Venus squaring Mars. I was going to say there's not a strong Mars transit. That can be aggressive and fighty energy. So I don't know if it's going to be that, because Leo and Aquarius is compassionate heart energy. Mm-hmm. I think energies are nice, but we do have a Venus squaring Mars at the same time. But I think these are more, a Venus squaring Mars to me is more a battle between the feminine and the masculine around beliefs and around opinions, and finding a balanced center, or shall we say a middle ground. So a lot of relationships that have these points in their charts, they'll probably get into a confrontation, but it will, I like to call these argue up, because and again, these issues are going to pop up in relationships that mean you're going to have to make a change. So there's some sort of communication. Now we have a few sextiles. I think we also have a Mercury sextiling Neptune. So there, and Mars is sextiling Chiron, and Venus is sextiling Uranus. So whenever you see these squares, this is the crisis point, but those sextiles are flows where things now do open and go, and the universe is kind of guiding you another direction. So there's going to be a release of something that's toxic and holding you back, and it can come with crisis because you are attached to it for security-based reasons, or have been. And then it can come as a it can come through an argument or some sort of shift in a situation, in a relationship. And if it can be that you end a relationship and you end all ties, and this is the communication involved, and then you take action to disengage finances or something. But this also can be a new relationship starting as a result of a breakthrough, a problem that created separation. So it's like, we're really this shifting, no doubt about it. You're going to see shifts and changes in this full moon. Things are going to happen if you have planets on these points, you know, which I do. I have my Saturn there, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I feel like this energy is
what?
I feel like this energy is the Venus Mars that you were talking about. It also feels like there might be some relationships that maybe, like you had kind of touched on this, that come back together because the energies of the past a few months really cleared the way. They were able to work on their individual things so they could come back together now with this energy and find that middle path.
Yes. And remember, because this is karmic, because of the nodes of the moon and Saturn and all, this is very karmic. You're right, because this is a Saturn. Saturn is in the sign of Aquarius, squaring Uranus, which is Saturn and Uranus ruled Aquarius.
Mm-hmm.
So we have this, my brain is foggy today. It must be this darn Mercury Neptune thing going on.
It could be.
Anyway, so we've got this Saturnian element with the moons and the nodes, because the south node, because Saturn is in Aquarius and the nodes are in Taurus and Scorpio. So we've had this full square with Saturn and the nodes happening all year. And we're pulling out of that square now. And Saturn is going to move into a trine with the nodes. So really, we've been in the wrong way. We've all been somehow out of alignment with our destiny. And Saturn has been making you do what you need to do to line you up right. And we haven't seen it. You may not really understand that what you've been doing is really been the hard work that we've been doing in the last 5 years has really done a lot of good for us. We're not going to see that yet. You're going to start, in other words, you're going to start seeing that. But when Saturn goes into Pisces and trines the nodes, you're going to think, wow,
Yay.
all of that really aligned us. That was good. That was good. It was rough. It was hard. But now look, wow. Yeah. So we're preparing. So you've got to get rid of that thing that you're holding on to, that is from your past, that is your security blanket, that makes you feel like everything's just, and looks good and neat, and then it's like, no, you're going to shed that and you're going to live the real authentic life. You're getting on your true destiny. You're walking your true path, and your authentic self is going to be revealed. And the other thing about Aquarius is it is not normal. The Aquarian energy, it's almost like revealing where we are oddballs, where we, and we have pride in, because the Leo is the pride energy and the Aquarian is the oddball, the eccentric. So it's this liberating us, having pride in our oddballness, in our eccentricities, stepping out, allowing our freak flags to fly in the sense that we become our creative self-expressive self in some way. So this is a fantastic polarity. It's just, if you've got, and this is you, because we choose these things through our own brain programming, which comes from many things, comes from parenting, comes from our IC. I can see it in people's IC, where you're programmed, like what your sense of security has been driven into you, which I can tell mine is, my IC is Virgo. It's from the feminine, critical feminine, to be perfect as a feminine. And your security is based on being a perfect feminine, kind of a thing. So we're really finding that our security now is based in our alignment, knowing, becoming conscious of our heart knowledge, head, heart alignment. Then we are headed in the right way. So,
shall we jump in?
Yeah. So just so everyone knows, a crisis comes, there is a sextile. Focus on that sextile.
And what Madelaine means by that is like, there is some good energy. There is some feel good around the uncomfortable. So just do your best to stay in that as much as you can.
Yeah, because what that crisis comes at the same time that there's a way through. And that's the miracle. It's like, wow, I got through that. I can't believe it. So we're going to get through it. Just be zen, chill, calm, surrender. Try not to get into an argument with anybody too much about stuff. We're moving. We want to clear karma. We're really clearing karma right now. So this is a karmic energy. So we don't want to respond in any way that creates more karma. So we're really going to turn the other cheek if that shows up. And the reason we turn the other cheek isn't because we're super pacifist and we have no self-esteem. Well, we should protect ourselves. That's always, if someone's really attacking, you should always protect yourself. But it's so that we break that line of karma. So whatever happens, hold your head together, stay calm.
You brought up a good point about creating more karma, because if you think about karma, it's all about balancing. You're looking to balance. There's that old way of thinking, or that old saying that, I think my brain's a little foggy today too, Madelaine, which is, like if you do something bad to someone, then something bad will happen to you. And you do something good for someone, something good will happen for you. And I feel like that kind of got skewed over time, but really it's a balance of energy. And so if you think about this as a time of closing karmic loops, like you can finish something. Why would you, it's almost like you're working on a project and you're at the very end of it and you're putting the last final finishing touch on it. And then you decide, nah, I think I'm going to rip this whole thing out and redo this. It's like, why would you do that when you're right there at the end? So maybe people could take that concept into the next moon cycle, these next, couple weeks, and just think, look, you're finishing something. You don't have to do this again. Finish it. Be done with it. Learn the lesson. Make a different choice.
Yes.
Moving on.
The more you clean your ties, the more if you're cutting ties with people like, ex-husbands or whatever, the more you do it with respect of their individual, because we want to galvanize in these energies. Because what we're doing in our karma is we're learning how not to create separation, how to create unity in the Aquarian energies to galvanize. So we have to change in our reaction. So I think I was talking about this with you, somebody, but we change through our reactions. And so how we react. And so in other words, this situation of crisis can occur. You get an opportunity now to respond in a way that creates good karma, and you become conscious of how you respond. And then you have mastered that area of your soul where you don't respond in a way that creates separation, but you respond in a way that creates unity and progress forward. That is fair and balanced, So, all right, let's go. All the signs. We ready, Amalia?
We are ready. Yeah. So Aries.
Okay, so Aries. So this is a lunation, full moon, sun in your sun in your 11th house, and the moon will be in your 5th house. So a new relationship, new friendship comes in that liberates you. But you may end another group, you may end ties with other groups. Now you have Taurus in your 2nd house, Uranus there. So I'm going to say you probably financially liberate some sort of an obligation you have with a relationship, and it was probably ending another group of friends. So in other words, like if you end this relationship, you end the other group of friends. But then what's happening is with the Uranian there is a financial liberation when you make this change and you make that end and you liberate yourself from a friendship or project or creative project that isn't really doing well for you. Now, if it could also be 5th house could be children. You could let go of a certain way that you're raising your children. You now liberate your child and set them free from and they lose you as a dead weight, as a weight that's holding them back, not a dead weight, but you don't need to parent them anymore. And you need to liberate them. That's an energy that can play out. And now with the this sun in your 11th house, there's a good chance you are now finding your true tribe. You're going to liberate from an old tribe and into a new tribe. Now, the crisis could occur in a, where do we have the moon in, you guys, you have the moon in the 5th house. So there might be a relationship, financial relationship, friendship that then is severed as well. So.
Interesting. Right. So there's a lot of, there's a lot of friend energy and creativity for Aries for this particular.
Yes. And Saturn rules their 10th house. So this is career related as well. So it is an upgrade you are making now. By the way, everybody that lets go of this thing that's holding you back, you become super buoyant. It's kind of like you've been held down under the water. And now you're going to go, woo. So it's something much more fun. Now this is a full moon in your 5th house. So now you're going to have much more fun. We're liberating, we're opening up, we're having more fun as a result of letting go of something. So yeah, go ahead.
What's so funny when you were talking about, it's like something's been held underwater. I kind of saw it like a beach ball. And what's funny is we're the ones that are holding the beach ball under the water. It's not anybody else, not
Yeah.
anything else. It's actually us.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, what you're going to pull a card? I'm excited to see what card.
Yeah. Yeah. So 4 of them flew out.
Okay,
So I know it's not all 4. So let me just see what wants to come through for Aries. Did you have anything else you wanted to add to that?
Saturn rule. Oh, they do have Jupiter in the first house. So you know what? They have a lot of confidence about this. They're ready to do this. This is a 12-year cycle for Aries. They're ready to make this. They're done. Something they're done with. Boom. And it's going to, and it's been, they're ashamed. There's a shame issue about it. It wasn't right for their long term. So that's about it, really. I mean, we could go deeper, but we're trying to keep this shorter.
A little more condensed. Yeah. So, okay, we have for Aries, the black bat flower. And the black bat flower is, the message is advocate for yourself and others. This speaks to, where are you going with the flow too often, especially when it's necessary for you to speak your mind. So I think this relates to what you were saying about tribes and friends groups, things like that, like being able to speak up and, you know, and make your own choice, like stand firm in what you believe and what you need. And that might be letting go of some of those friends. So yeah. So for Aries, if you are interested in looking for support, the black bat flower is for you. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Cool.
I'm going to look that up. I have my Jupiter in Aries.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. What about Taurus?
Well, you guys are going to have, this is going to be a shakeup for you guys. It's going to rattle your sense of security. You're going to feel worried and you're going to feel afraid that, because remember, these are energies that are going to be, what's going to happen is something that we're holding on to for security is going to start breaking apart, and we're going to feel scared, and it's going to nerve. It's going to be stress. It's going to be tension, because you don't see the good on the other side of it. That's why astrology helps us, because we can look around the corner and go, thank God. So anyway, so Taurans have Uranus there. This is the rattle up. This is the life changing. You've got Leo in your 4th house. You may move. You may suddenly, randomly change or sell your house or send or shift it.
Please, that would be great.
Yes. And that's the other thing about these energies, by the way. These are sudden, liberating, all of a sudden, boom. And that's what's been so frustrating, because we've been in all these months of Mars retrograde, getting us ready, where it's been all like felt block. And now like, boom, it's like, okay, wow. Isn't there a middle period, you know? But anyway, so Taurans, all of a sudden, boom, changing living situation, moon there. And that's interesting. Moon in your 4th, that's powerful, because moon is a 4th house energy. This is going to be home. You're going to find your real home now. Liberating might come with a crisis. The roof may cave in and you got to move out and you got to rent somewhere, and then you buy the one you rent into and you're so happy that's your home. Anyway, hopefully it's not. I hope for nothing of high stress, but you know, this is a drama, you know, we've got drama in these energies. So just prepare ye. It doesn't hurt us to be warned. Just be ready. That I do think Leos are going to suddenly up. I mean, Taurans are going to suddenly up and leave some situation. Now, Aquarius, you've got the sun in your 10th house. So again, this is a very Saturnian energy. So this is liberating you career-wise. And this is a theme that's been going forwards. Now, like, I know my sister is Tauran. She's probably going to retire on this. I bet she's going to suddenly retire and probably sell her house and possibly travel or something like that. But Taurans will suddenly, a crisis. You've been going too far somewhere, too long, holding on to something which you really was time for you to let go of a while ago. Mm-hmm. Like your property, real estate. But like these planets were retrograde, we weren't ready. So now it's ready. And hopefully the crisis is minor and it's not a big deal. But again, just go with the flow as much as possible. You have Jupiter in your 12th house. So you are really soul desiring this shift. This is really important shift. Whatever happens in this lunation is 100% lining you up for your new situation that's going to stand for a long time. That's why sometimes it's really jarring and crisis, because it's like, you didn't do this. You're going to have to now. So might be have to put your house on the market, whether you like it or not, or something like that. Okay. And then that sun in your 10th house illuminates your career to a more public arena, or you become more publicly known, or you become seen more, but somehow letting go, Taurus, somehow letting go. But you know what else is your identity? You're going to let go of your identity, because the first house is identity. So you're going to have almost like a breakthrough in your identity. You're going to, because Leo's in the fourth house, you're going to see your personality come out more in a way. Taurans are going to let their personality, let their Leo flag out, you know, and they're not going to worry so much about the security, because Taurans are security based. Nothing wrong with it. Everyone loves a Tauran, and that's a good person to have in your life. They're going to stay stable, right? So they're going to break free a little and let a little bit of their freak flags fly, you know.
I
be a more quirky individual at the same time as embracing something about their home, but they do want to love your home. Taurus love home. They're very home people. They're Venetian. They want pleasure. They like pleasing things. So something's not pleasing about your home that you don't love. So that's going to change.
I can't wait to hear what
you from a career obligation too.
I can't wait to hear what you have to say as we keep going on, because I feel like this is telling a story for each one of us. You know, if you're following your sun, your moon, and your rising sign, you're going to have a pretty good picture of what is to come for you in the next, 3 weeks from today, but 2 weeks once this energy really starts rolling next, a week from today. So it's really
kind of go time after this full moon. It's going to be, you know, everybody's going to be setting stuff up, going forward, moving, doing stuff.
I can say for me personally, I'm ready. I may complain later about everything being so crazy, but I'll take it.
I don't want the crisis, but yes, I'm ready. I would just like to be smooth. I would just please
be gentle with us. Be gentle with us.
Please don't rattle our nerves. That's okay. So let's see what the Bach flower remedy for Taurus.
Well, it's LOTUSWEI.
It's what?
LOTUSWEI flowers.
Oh, LOTUSWEI flower. Okay.
Yeah. So for Taurus, we have the Mandavia, and this activates acceptance, and the message is fall in love with what is. Mm-hmm. So I feel like, and wrong way. This flower, this was one of the Flower Friday cards recently, and this dissolves attachment and helps us feel a sense of security, especially in love, but also at peace with the way things are. So I feel like this really does speak to what you were saying when you're thinking about Taurus, when you're feeling into Taurus and that sense of security and love and Venusian, that, you know, Venus sort of energy. This is completely in alignment with that. And here it is, so people can see what it is, the Mandavia. I just think it's a really sweet flower, but yet there's a strength in it. It's a subtle strength. So that's for Taurus.
Yes, breathe. Taurus is going to scare you because Taurans are fixed. This is all about your fixed issues. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. We're going to get through these. There's trines and beautiful astrology afterwards. What the sun's going to trine the nodes. It's going to be great. Okay. I mean, the Saturn's going to trine the nodes soon. So it's going to be great.
All right. So Gemini.
Okay. So Gemini, you guys have Leo in your third house. Communications. Taurus is in your 12th house. So you're having this soul, because the 12th house is your soul. It's a very introvert experience, very introverted feeling. Mm-hmm. And then you've got Aquarius. Gemini, you have Aquarius in your 9th house. So we're really looking at a shift in beliefs, a big wake up in your own, what you individually believe, what you want to communicate with people, what your own perspective is. You're going to start speaking your truth about what's right for you, what you believe. You're going to have more confidence. This is a third house, power house type thing. Like, it's the roar of the lion. The Gemini comes out there, and with Taurus in their 12th house, that Uranian thing, it's like a sudden explosion of communication of like some deep truth that hasn't happened. And then we've got the sun in Aquarius in your 9th house, revealing a belief. It's almost like Gemini, who are so interesting because they're very, very, very logical. They're the logos. They represent the logos, which is not the mistos. They represent the mind, the balanced thinking, the Gemini mind, and then the ninth house, which is opposite, is spiritualism. It's the macro, and Gemini is the micro. So they're going to have the sun there. So they're going to have this big belief shift. And I almost feel like Gemini are going to be the rulers in a way of the movement in spiritualism, because they're going to bring a logos to it. And they're going to wake up to being kind of spiritual leaders and they're going to wake up to mastering some sort of ability in spiritualism that is very balanced and very practical for the world. So, and when I say spiritualism, it can be yoga, it can be food marketing, because Gemini are very good salesmen. It can be art, but there's some sort of awakening to their mission and their calling as bringing a balance between knowledge and spiritualism. So Gemini are very much that middle, that link of these two worlds. So Gemini are waking up to having a gift because of that 12th house goings on with Uranus, a sudden soul awakening to who they truly are. They may suddenly wake up to who they were in their past life. They may suddenly wake up to what they're true in the Atlantic era, what they were gifted at. They were spiritual leaders on some level. So they may wake up to a powerful spiritual gift they hold or possess. They may get sudden downloads of brilliant ideas, communication, but now, so the squaring will come in because Gemini has that. So they may get in an argument or a confrontation or a clash of beliefs that ends relationships. They can't be with friends like this anymore. They can't be who they truly are. They can't express what they truly believe. They're now going to cut ties with people in a way who believe very differently, not out of heart, but just to not continue to try to change people's minds or them change your minds. But there's going to be an individual, because they have Leo over the third house, so they're going to speak an individual truth. And they're not going to be as afraid. They don't mind if you think they're weirdo. They're going to come out and say, I think it's flat. You might suddenly hear a bunch of Gemini come out and say, the world is flat. I tell you. I'm kidding. But they may just come out and say, no, I do want, and the other thing that might happen is they may suddenly become more eccentric dressers. And also that's the ninth house. So they may decide to be more eccentric in their beliefs and travels and express more eccentricity. In fact, I think a lot of people are going to be this full moon, you're going to suddenly see eccentric angles to people because they're going to be liberated. A lot of people dress the way we've dressed because it created security for our work. Mm-hmm. Now suddenly people are going to start dressing wacky because everyone's working for themselves. They don't have to dress to impress the boss. So you're going to get these Aquarian interesting outfits out there in the world. Because Leo is fashion itself. It's very stylish and it's the arts. It's creative. So people are going to be more creative. So you may see Geminis dressing a little more eccentrically as a way of communicating who they are individually. So yeah, that's a bunch on Gemini.
So, all right. So for Gemini, we've got the LOTUSWEI deck is talking to you with a pink primrose. And the pink primrose activates rapid growth. The messages make it effortless. But what really jumps out at me about this is that this also helps prepare us for rapid growth and expansion, internally or externally. And so I feel like this also speaks to what you were talking about when it comes to Geminis really having a shift in the way that they engage with the world, the way that they dress, the way that they think, their belief systems. So it is a rapid growth for them in a spiritual way, instead of being quite so mental and being able to merge the two together. So yeah, pink primrose for Gemini.
I have my best friend and I can't wait to see how she's going to change. I haven't spoken to her in a while. I bet she's going through some interesting things.
Yeah. Maybe a good time to check in, see what's going on with her.
Yeah.
Okay. Cancer.
Woo, Cancer guys. Okay, you guys, interesting. You have Leo over your second house, which is a beautiful place to have Leo. Represents your possessions, what you material, what you own, what your own. So I love full moon in the second house because I'm Cancer rising. I always love it because there are new financial beginnings and it's around your own personal resource. It's what you possess as an individual, and Cancers are usually spiritually gifted people on some level. So they may discover a true gift within that is your own resource. Your own resource can be a possession that you own. Let's say you invested in a biofeedback machine and now suddenly you realize, oh my gosh, I own this biofeedback machine. I should start making money off of it and start doing biofeedback for people or something. So it's like something of your own resource. The sun illuminates a need because it's going to be, and the sun is going to be in the Aquarian house, which is in the 8th house, squaring Uranus in your 11th. Something is going to open up, but you're going to have to clean something up with possibly an ex-husband, an ex relationship, something that you had an obligation or a contract to, because we're squaring that Saturn or the house where Saturn is. It depends in your chart. Obviously, if you have any planets in your 8th house, they'll be impacted. So you're going to have to let go. You have to set a boundary. You got to clear something up. Again, do it with dignity and respect. But
yeah,
you're going to have to make, and it could be a crisis of financing because it's the 2nd and 8th house. So you're ending a financial relationship or contract. Again, also possibly beginning a joint relationship or joint financial situation. But we're looking at a big shift, radical change, because you got Uranus squaring there. So it's like, boom, done, possibly new beginning coming in. But also we've got that, because now squares are not always bad. Squares can often just mean, I've been watching squares. They mean radical shifts. You're doing stuff. You got to get it. Like one day I had Mars square Mars and I was moving a shed on my property and I thought we were all going to die. But what that meant, I mean, I was really nervous about it, you know. But what it meant is I was extremely hardworking that day. I was under there unscrewing bolts. And it was like when I went to bed that night, I was like, oh, I was exhausted. So it's like, it's an Aries energy. It's action. It's stuff happening. So with this square, some people love these squares because it does really move our lives forward in a dramatic, shifting way. So, for Cancers, you've been holding on security blanket issues around financing and joint financing. This is going to have to get cleared up for the new beginning. Hopefully without too much crisis. Just prepare yourself. Can be taxes. Taxes is the 8th house. Issues involving taxes with ex-spouses or even your past may pop up, but really is an opportunity to clear away and set things straight in the Saturnian way that needs to be done, that you got to deal with, and things will then go forward. So challenging,
one thing I kept hearing when you were sharing that was, you know, this is a karmic loop being closed. So for those who have this, especially with Cancer being a very emotional sign,
and by the moon, so it's always going to impact Cancers every moon.
Yeah, and so it might feel really uncomfortable, and you might not like it at all. But just know this is something that you're finishing up. You know, you can
focus on those sextiles.
Will you remind everyone what the sextile energy is?
Yes. So the way through for Cancer is actually going to be Venus sextiling the Uranus, which does actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, kind of trying the nodes. So there's going to be an opening in another direction financially that really opens things up because Cancer have Jupiter in their 10th house. They have a lot of planets at the top of their charts. So they've got Saturn going up there. So career is really going to work great for Saturn. There's possibly higher recognition, more knowledge, more clients coming in. You meet new tribes, new clients coming in. A lot of financial resources improving through the self, through your own possessions, your own stuff. So there is a lot of good happening, which is why you don't need anything to hold on to.
There we go. Mic drop. And here we have red clover coming in for support. And the message of red clover is you are invincible, and it activates empathy. Wow. So this is a situation where it's like you may feel other people's emotions, but don't become affected by them. You just do what it is that you need to do to move through whatever situation comes up. And yeah, so red clover, this was actually a Flower Friday card a couple of weeks ago. So I feel like this energy is one that is a good reminder for everyone. You know, you are invincible. You got what you need. It's just, remember that. Move forward. Don't get stuck in the muck for too long.
Like that.
Yeah. Okay. Leo.
Wow, you guys, this is in your first house, squaring Uranus, which is in your 10th house. So you might quit a job. You may suddenly, randomly have a new job offered to you. Now, there is a risk element. It's a 7th house relationship. So it's possible. The reason I say it's a risk element is because the Scorpio is in your 4th house, and these are energies ruled by Saturn, and Saturn rules your 7th house of relationship, because you have Leo, wait, you have Saturn rules your Aquarius. So you have the sun in your 7th house, and Taurus, Uranus is in your 10th. So a relationship, let me get there. I keep moving my head. This is when the chart goes too far and I lose my spot.
That's okay.
So a revelation in the relationship, you either suddenly end it, you end a commitment, or you suddenly get into one. Like, this is a sudden, like, flash. I was reading about flash fossilization happens. It's like a crazy thing, but this is almost the energy. It's like flash of, happening for Leo, the sun, on your sun, you're ruled by the sun. Boom. This is your new full moon. Boom. You reveal what you really want in a relationship, and you probably let something go. End one, because these are squares. Taurus. It's possible you get an upgrade in a work situation, and you have to move or travel, and you have to end a relationship. But don't worry, if the relationship is your true fated relationship, it will work out. And if it's not, it will end. But there is definitely a radical crisis, potential crisis involving, you could get fired, but if you do, it's for your highest good, because you've got Taurus in your 10th house. So something, because this is you may get liberated from a day-to-day routine job. That is a possibility. Or any kind of an obligation work situation that's holding you back from being your creative self-expression self. So in other words, because this is in your 1st house, so something about your career is holding you back that you liberate from. Now it's possible a relationship comes in that gives you a financial support that enables you to quit your job. Because Aquarius, Saturn, this is a Saturn relationship, usually means there's a strong commitment, and we are looking at 30 years. So we're looking at a 30-year commitment, 25 to 30 years, because we've been on this path a while. So for Leo, a new relationship, you're letting go of a relationship, or you're opening up to a relationship that liberates you, enabling you to quit a job, or enabling you, or suddenly giving you notoriety on social media, enabling your career to shift, suddenly change. It doesn't have to be like quitting and ending a job. Even if you're working for yourself at this point, there could be sudden expansion on your social media through work, because Uranus being there is liberating through work. You're going to be financially liberated through the 10th house. And Uranus is very much about social media, the platform, getting out there. And Leo, this is about creative self-expression. You're suddenly becoming yourself. Like my son is Leo ascendant. He may suddenly get clarity and partner with someone to run an Instagram feed that takes off, and he can quit his job because he can start taking orders, because he's a fashion designer. He believes in non-slave labored fashion, handmade, really solid things that last you your life. And that's kind of like, and that's kind of like his calling, what he wants. And he believes in fashion being beautiful and looking good. You look great. It's cut right and it lasts you. You never have to buy anything again for a long time. And it's handmade, so it's solid. So I can see him suddenly feeling the belief in himself in this, and launching and getting funding. that's in his chart. I can see it coming from, because he has the North Node in the 8th house, which usually means you're going to get support from outside funding of some sort or joint financing. So Leos very potentially are breaking free from being stuck in a career situation that has been clipping their wings and not letting them be their full creative self, because security mentality and creating security, and they have Scorpio in their 4th house. So they're letting go of a living home situation as well. They may be moving. There's a good chance they're letting go of a security-based choice living situation, or a family, or a toxic relationship with their mother that they, hopefully my son doesn't feel that way about. You're letting go of mother, or toxic relationship with your mother, and it becomes more healthy. Not that I think our son is toxic, but maybe he is letting go of his living environment where it is slightly toxic, smoggy.
So
anyway,
I love what you're sharing about this, and I want to just share my personal interpretation just on my life right now, and that is, I have been experiencing a lot of transformation and revelations related to self through the lens of relationship and career and home. So all of the kind of the key pieces that you mentioned in your cosmic forecast weather report for Leo as a Leo sun. So to me, how I'm interpreting this is that there's been this shift of self, and through that shift of self, there's been a shift in relationship. And I feel like we have navigated a period of time and are better for it, and have upgraded or up-leveled in a way, showing up differently with each other and for each other. And then that leads to a different home situation, because I can let go of that, and I've been ready to let go of it, but there probably was some part of me that was holding on to it, because the thought of venturing out and buying something, buying a house, as anyone knows who's done that, it's a scary thing to do. Yes. And then career-wise, you want to make sure that you have everything lined up from a practical standpoint with your career to pay for the house and blah, blah, blah. So it's all connected in a roundabout way. So it'll be really interesting to see how it all shakes out over the course of not just even the next couple of weeks, but the next 6 months or so.
You bring a good point, because Leo with the 4th house, Scorpio there, that mean letting go of paying rent. You may buy some, make a commitment.
Well, it's actually going to be more like I'm going to be paying more now with the house.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Versus less.
Which is scary.
It's scary. It's scary. Yeah. But I feel like that's part of this, a leap of faith. And in a way, I feel like a lot of us are being called to do that right now.
Yes. Because we're letting go of fear-based choices. So if you follow you love, and you love that house and it's more money, I guarantee it, you're going to make that money, because if you love it, it's that. I was studying, sort of reading about chakras and stuff, and I've always felt that the heart chakra was connected to the gods or the higher realms. That's how we know. So if you love it, it's going to work out.
Yeah, I feel that too.
Yes. Interesting. Perfect.
Yeah. So, and the card for Leos is the Arctic lupine. This activates deep peace, and the message is you are supported. I want to just read one little thing off this card, because I feel like it so relates to what's going on. Do you have a lot going on? Perhaps major life changes, or just too much on your plate? Arctic lupine enhances an experience of deep inner peace, giving us a sense of support, comfort, and protection. So I feel like this relates specifically to Leo, just based on the fact that there's so much going on in like the significant houses, the ones that really affect the fundamentals of life. And so Arctic lupine for Leos. Nice. I'm actually going to check the elixirs I have to see which one has this in it, because that's what I'm going to be taking starting today to prepare.
Yeah. That's interesting. I love that purple. That's Jupiter. That pulls me to your 7th house, that Sorry, no, Aries is Leo's 9th house of travel potentially too. It's just so you know.
Okay, good. Yeah, good to know.
Yeah, but that's a nice message. I love
Yeah,
that.
very supportive. Okay, so Virgos.
Virgo. Okay, so Virgo, you lovely Virgos have Leo in your 12th house. You're going to have a full moon in your 12th house squaring Uranus in your 6th house. This is a challenging one in a sense that this could be a soul breakdown. Breakdown. Sorry. You were really looking, I know you've got the moon in your 12th house, which is kind of triggering. It's soul upset, okay, soul stuff with the sun in your 6th house. So there's something about your day-to-day living, your routines, your job that isn't aligning with your soul, that just breaks. It's something, there's going to be a breakdown with something about the life that you're doing on a day-to-day level that's just, you just can't do it. You got to liberate yourself from it. It could be a job. It could be a day-to-day routine that you're doing. Maybe let's say you are on social media every day and you're working really hard at it and you're doing this, you just can't do it anymore. There's a breakdown. Your soul needs to go free and liberate. And but you could also get sick. I've had these transits in my 6th and 12th house and had headaches, were sick. So you may reveal something that does need to change. Leo moon, there is something, an addictive thing potentially that you got to let go of that's based in soul trauma. A reveal of soul trauma that is spurring an addiction, which you now are able to quit. You can stop. For me, it was sugar. I had to quit sugar in these types of transits for me, which has made my health so much better. I'm amazed. And so with Taurus in your 9th house potential, now we're looking at 12th house. You're gonna Uranus is in your 12th, in your 9th house. You suddenly now, you could quit a job and you now travel. You suddenly get a new belief system to change your day-to-day life. You get a new belief system. You wake up to spiritualism. So you now develop a day-to-day routine that is more spiritually in alignment. Or you do start on social media, sending out a spiritual message that is creative self-expression from your soul, because the Leo, so in other words, the new moon does reveal a truth about who you are on a soul level that is creative about you, or what is truly in your soul that you do want to create. I mean, this is about very authentic you, true Virgo. What is your soul's calling? This is like the illumination of that, and how it's thrown you off in your beliefs in a way. So you have a trauma-based belief system. So what is that? That's like, this happened, so this is going to happen, a bad thing. So now you have a shift in beliefs, and you can tell, and you wake up to you holding the power through what you believe to what you materialize in your real life. So you have a wake up about your belief system that changes that is more in alignment with your soul. Like, it's a form of waking up to spiritualism, but it can't just be waking up to what's true for your soul, what's right for you. On a day-to-day level, you may quit a job, you may move, there's something about your soul you need to change on a day-to-day level that is more in alignment with your life. So that can play out in a range of ways.
You know, I think you started out with the energy of this pretty spot on. I mean, this does sound like a significant, maybe not breakdown, but maybe a breakthrough of some sort that might be a bit like jarring. But it's breaking something down to break through. Yeah. Which brings us to the card for Virgo, which is the navel orange blossom. And this activates warmth and the message, it's good to be alive. Are you feeling a little uninspired about life? Navel orange blossom, this even uses the same words, breaks down the walls inside of us, warms up the heart, magnifying a sense of appreciation, playfulness, helping you feel good to be alive. So I feel like this does support what you were saying for Virgos, where they're going to really, want to find that place where they feel good to be alive and that warmth inside of them, and connect with their heart and do things that really do feel good versus the things that they feel like they have to do.
Interesting. Wow. I love this card idea that we're doing. I love it. good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that really
So
is that sixth house thing where it's like, where are they living on a day-to-day level that isn't happy, that isn't making them happy, and they want to change their day-to-day life. I love that card for
yeah.
Virgo.
Yeah. It is. That's a great one. And that I think too, if you look at even the back of the background of this card with that orange and yellow, that really speaks to them finding their power and their creativity when it comes to their path forward. And I think that's a big place for Virgos too. They're very practical. They have everything very organized. I mean, it's an earth sign, but there's still a lot that I think Virgos, it would be beneficial for them to really remind themselves that they are the god or goddess and that they do have that power within themselves. And sometimes the organization and the practicality is great, but you need to come from the heart too. It's a combination.
It's almost like Virgo have been waiting to find out because they have Scorpio in their third house. So they're really changing a lot of their communication issues and stuff, and letting go of communication to control and stuff. And so now it's like Leo in your 12th house. Now their true soul is now their true communication. They're going to start communicating their true selves, and they're going to go wild.
That'll be interesting.
On a stage chanting,
Okay, so Libra.
Yeah, Libra. So you guys have Aquarius, you have Saturn ruling your fifth house. Aquarius is in your fifth house, and Saturn is in your fifth house, and the sun is in your fifth house. And then we've got Taurus in your eighth house, which is joint finances, and you're going to have sun liberation through joint finances. So Libras are most likely getting into relationships. They've had Uranus there in their eighth house for all this time. So they would have been experiencing liberations through joint financing or efforting that way. And then we have Leo in their 11th house. So they're going to have a full moon in their 11th house, which is suddenly revelation or understanding of who their true tribe is. Like Libra are going to align with their true tribe, sudden shocking changes in their situation and in joint resources. Libras are suddenly going to join financing with someone, pull together their resources, or Libra suddenly gets a loan, passes through that, refinances a property, which then enables them. Leo 11th house, maybe because the 11th house is gains. It's a really nice full moon for Libra, actually. And you may suddenly end other tribes that are not right for you. Suddenly you're going to be, because you feel Leo in your 11th house, you may suddenly get out on Instagram and express your true creative self. And then but you are going to align with a tribe that is your true heart tribe. Your true, because Leo is the heart and your truth and what you love. And then the 11th house. So you're going to align with a group of people. It's going to reveal to you who is your true heart people. And then I see liberation into a committed relationship, a new committed relationship, or recommitting to one that was from the past, in order to create joint financing and start a creative project, or children. So we're looking at Libra finally really seriously settling down, because they've got these Leo in the 11th house has been like, not sure, but because Uranus being in their fifth house, shaky situations. Uranus is shaking situations up. So shake up in an old relationship, probably letting one go, realizing who the right one is, who the real tribe are, and joining finances. And again, the eighth house is a very sexual energy, and Uranus is there. So it could be all of a sudden, a passionate sexual relationship.
So
all of that. What'd you get?
the lilac,
Ooh.
Which is activates flexibility. The message is adapt quickly to changes, which is what you were just talking about. So this talks about embodying flexibility, freedom and non-attachment to areas of life, letting go of control that inspires us to be open to bigger and better opportunities.
Wow, interesting.
So I feel like with all that you were sharing about Libra, because it was fairly all encompassing, but it related to relationships, projects, people, and with the energy of Uranus kind of playing around with them a little bit, there could be a sudden shift in some way. And so just be flexible, be able to pivot quickly. So the lilac for
that's
Libra.
cool. I love that.
So what were you going to say, Madelaine? I'm sorry.
Well, just that they have the South Node in their second house. So you're letting go of security-based finance choices that you're making out of just security-based finance choices. And you're now trusting, because you've got this other thing happening in your eighth house that is expanding and liberating you. There's something in the eighth house financially, joint finances, refinance, other people's money, an inheritance, or a stock market type choice will liberate you financially and letting you and enabling you to let go of a secure financial situation that you've been holding on to. Maybe
interesting.
Maybe a relationship breakdown that happens, because Leo, the moon that's an emotional position for the full moon. That could be a breakdown of a tribe. That's a crisis, which then spurs you to make another relationship choice that is financially more expansive for you and liberating for you. And that is your true person, most likely. So, but it is whatever it is, it's the one that's going to last. So you may not have been knowing what that was, Libra, very headspace people.
Well, they'll now know. So,
yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Scorpio.
So Scorpio, this is going to be a breakup in a relationship, most likely, because you're going to have the Uranus is in your seventh house of relationships, a sudden breaking and ending of a relationship, shake-up, crisis involved. You've got Aquarius in your fourth house. So potentially now let's take another, let me look. So possibly having to move. I know a Scorpio who may, and that's probably going to happen. But
there's another that I hope it does.
Yeah. Yes. And I think for you, it's not necessarily crisis, but I think for her, it might be a roommate situation that breaks down and she leaves.
Yeah.
You could get in a bad argument. There's some disagreements, but moving and leaving that situation aligns you into something much more in alignment. So it's forced situation. You think you need to be in that situation. You don't really.
Right.
So yes, like you said, you're holding back on spending money, but you're not aware of the fact that things are going to become very abundant for you. So you can risk it. Yeah. And that might be for her too. She might be holding back from living in a much better situation. So then through friends and groups, you may find a property because Aquarius is fourth house. So sudden revelation of an idea or a piece of property or a way through, either you, Scorpio, get into a relationship with someone else and then she can move, or through a relationship, there's liberation in a living situation. You decide to cohabitate, mingle your finances together, because something is expanding in your work world, enabling you to be more abundant because you've got Jupiter in your sixth house, which is more work, but good expansion in work as well. And you've got Mercury stationing direct in your third house. So a small business or something, selling a small business is going to go forward. Things are going to go better. So basically Scorpio's finances are increased, but they're going to be able to move, suddenly move a living situation through that. Also shifts the career because you've got Leo in your 10th house. So it's that 10th and 4th house axis, changing a living situation, also altering or shifting a career, or shifting your living situation because you have a job, you're living in a situation with a roommate that doesn't work out. So you got to move. Your job now has to shift and change to another location of that place you work at, that kind of thing. But we are definitely seeing Scorpios with a big upshift, big radical shift and change. Because it's for Scorpio, it's hitting in your cardinal houses. And that means this is the culminations of these eclipses. You're going to settle down now. You haven't been settled, but you're looking at settling down soon. But you're most likely not in the right living situation, and your relationship situation there's going to be something through relationship that radically liberates you into a more harmonized living situation, that also is more in alignment with your own personal true career that you truly love. Gosh, I do this for my readings online. So I'm ready to pull cards now for the person.
I know it's like it's a habit. So I've got, there was the first card. Oh, did you have something else you wanted to say? Go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, you've got South Node on you too. So you really are letting go of all fear-based, toxic-based, these are layers. This is happening in layers. So it's another round of letting this go and becoming more risk-taking, more trusting in the universe that's going to get your back. And you don't have to hold on to situations that distort you, that aren't your true right tribe. So Scorpio are really getting rattled because they're getting this. They're making a complete square. So we're looking at a big radical cardinal shift for all the fixed signs.
So it's interesting. The first card that came out for Scorpio, I was like, I don't understand this card. So I then continued to shuffle, and another card pretty quickly came out and I think explained more of the story. So I'm going to share the first card, or the second card first. So it's the peony.
Nice.
And this activates magnetism. The message is attract abundance. So this is about how you might be overextending or overworking yourself. It really catalyzes you to experience the beauty of life, to really be in the zone of like what you were talking about, really aligning with your day-to-day, with your relationships, with your work, with your home, like all of those key fundamental pieces once again. And so the peony. And then in the process of doing that, what is happening? Well, you are healing. And when you're healing, you need more rest, which is what Passion Flower talks about, which is talking about if you're overworking, you're on the go, or your nerves frazzled, do you feel stressed? Because all of the stuff you're talking about are big things. So Passion Flower reminds you to take care of yourself and to rest, and that is going to lead to more healing, which will allow you to step into the new roles that are being placed before you. So yeah, this was a little bit of a confusing one. And I think it's because there's so much energy happening with Scorpio, particularly, I'm glad you mentioned the South Node as a part of the astrological picture, because that's huge. That's karmic in and of itself. That's all these past lessons, all these past areas of life that are overdeveloped, overly relied upon, that are no longer going to be. So it's significant.
When the nodes change to Aries and the South Node will be in Libra, Scorpios have really been through the cooker. But they will be different. They will definitely be a new version of themselves that is much more true. So it'll be good. It's like going through the spin cycle, I think.
You're right. Okay, so
Sagittarius. So Jupiter is in your ruling planet, is in your 5th house of relationships. So relationships are expanding, potentially friendships turning into romantic situations. And then you have Aquarius in your 3rd house. So potential busyness, the sun there, you're probably very busy doing a lot of driving, short distance driving. Things are going to be busier for Sagittarians, and they're going to be 6th house. You see, these are work houses for Sagittarius because you've got the 6th house Taurus. So you've got Uranus there, and then we have the sun in your 9th house Leo. So Sagittarius, things might open up for travel or classes or teaching or learning. All of these things I love, so I'm glad. Yes. So liberation, though, on a day-to-day, your day-to-day routine is going to change. It could suddenly become very busy, Saggies. You suddenly could become very work busy, which means you're going to let go of your downtime because you've got Scorpio in your 12th house. Sagittarians may suddenly be forced out of hibernation mode. Not that they ever really are, but travel, busyness, and there's a crisis. So maybe they get spurred, but you're going to have clarity. So let's say Sagittarians have Capricorn. over their second house, so they're clearing financial karmas. So possibly good news around finances, making you very busy, things moving, activity towards your future. I don't see much of a crisis really for Sagittarius in this, other than because I mean, they have Aquarius in their third house, liberating energies there. I mean, the Taurus in the sixth house is a health issue. So there might a health issue. But with that Uranian there, you might suddenly liberate. Something good happens that liberates you. You're letting go of a toxic thing all the way there, changing that. And with Leo in your ninth house, a new belief system, a more personal belief system, a sense of confidence, a pride in self and what you believe, because your ninth house is Sagittarius. That is your house. And you've got Saggies are coming into more confidence. They've cleared up karma around their second houses. I'm getting good energy for Saggies. I'm trying to think if there's a potential crisis. Well, it would be, if anything, possibly a health crisis or belief crisis through communication that, and Scorpio, that they do let go of an old belief that is holding them back from expanding. So they are really letting go of a mind limited perspective and opening up to more fun around their belief systems, being more also their own creative ideas. Maybe they're starting to believe in things, but from a more personal perspective. Let's see what card you get.
It literally just came out as you were talking about the last little bit. It's the giant spider lily. And you were talking about the mind somehow, like letting go of something. So it activates lightness and lightheartedness. The message is free your mind.
Wow.
Are you craving a sense of freedom and effortlessness? So
fantastic.
It's pretty on point. So it also goes on to say that it shines light into your blind spots, illuminating areas of life that are stagnant or in need of fresh energy, helps you feel light as a feather, unfettered and free. So I think this also kind of follows the energy that you were talking about, where it's like, there's really nothing too heavy about this moon cycle for Sag. It's really kind of this mental thing. So yeah, giant spider lily.
Yeah. And with that Aquarian third house energy, Sagittarius may really communicate something very clear that does end a relationship too, because Taurus is in your seventh house. So they may start communicating in a way that actually there's a healing communication, like a healing outburst communication that fixes things, heals things. But just watch out for being sick. Prepare yourself. Do not drink alcohol or anything. When a sixth house lunation activation, you just want to get your health as strong as possible for that period. So
nice. All right. So Capricorn,
you guys have Aquarius in your second house, financial liberation. Hallelujah. You've got the sun there, opening things up for you financially, but there may be a crisis financially. So, and you do have Uranus. So a relationship, you might be ending a relationship or a financial connection with somebody in the fifth house, or a friendship or an old relationship. Finances is going to be terminated there with Leo in your eighth house. Yep. Capricorns are ending commitments with other finances, and other obligations or contracts are ending, potentially to open things up for new ones, for new beginnings in the eighth house. Full moon in the eighth house, Leo, knowing, revealing an emotional, probably, because this is going to be a little bit more crisis for Capricorn, I feel like, but opening up a, shall we say, freedom from a bond, releasing and getting out of a committed situation, bonded, contracted situation, or financial problems like tax issues, like those crises may come up, but now we're liberating them. We're dealing with them once and for all. So there's something, I know a Capricorn rising who hasn't been dealing with certain things like this, and they may come up. You've got to deal with them, but you know what? It's good. It's done. So whatever crisis comes up, it's involving finances, other people's finances, contracts, and then potentially you're liberated through something about your own resources within yourself. Finances are going to pick up for you within your own self because you have second house Aquarius. So sudden revelation of of your own resources that liberates you, something you possess, something you hold, and you have been maybe relying on, because Capricorns, they're a karmic security-based type energy. Again, everybody's letting go, and Scorpio is in your 11th house, so you're letting go of toxic friendships or relationships or tribes or ways of being on internet or something that are just fear-based, like operating that way with a tribe or friends that are just because you wanted to create financial security for yourself, or just kind of networking just to create security. But now you've got a networking group that really is going to expand your finances. This is a very solid situation. It's going to last a good chunk. So there is a financial breakthrough for Capricorn in an area where there's going to be also loss, or an ending of a contracting. And it may go down in a bit of a problem, in a bit of a tension, because these are T-squares. So this is an attachment something. So let go, release, try not to fight it. You'll be okay, because there is financial liberation coming for Capricorns through another relationship that then begins, or another or the relationship shifts and changes to one that is more advancing, liberating, because you have Taurus in the 5th house. So it's through friendships that there's financial liberation. So, or relationship. And then we have Leo in your 8th house, again, joining finances, joint finances. So there's almost a new joint financial relationship coming in. It's almost like, it's weird, because it's like ending one financial situation and then getting into another one right away. I mean, it's just really crazy. It's like jumping from one relationship and smack right into another one. But there's a crisis around finances, personal and joint, that need to be liberated, that you need to liberate yourself from, that you're using for security-based, that now reaches its culmination, and the agreement is resolved and everybody goes forward, which is great.
That is great.
Argue in the process if you can.
So the card for Capricorn is the gardenia. And the gardenia activates shift your perception. The message is transform your weaknesses into strengths. Nice. So this really, to me, jumped out at me when you were talking about with your finances increasing. It's based on the resources that you have within yourself. It's not necessarily it might be through a relationship, but it's definitely with self.
I want to add that Capricorn could get an inheritance or finance windfall from a spouse or a person or another, because you have the new moon, a full moon in your 8th house that can reveal a financial liberating thing, as well. So just to add that in.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think for Capricorns, it's like, just don't worry.
Yeah.
It's, take some of these things that roll at you and realize that there's more going on than what you see, and try not to be too discouraged.
Yes. And I like the sun in the 2nd house for Capricorn, because we're really looking at at a revelation of a financial liberating thing through a tribe, groups. But again, it's something you own as a resource that you can contribute. So we are seeing an increase in that. That's great.
It is. Yeah. Okay, so Aquarius, we're almost winding down here.
Oh. Yay. All right. Aquarian, 1st house, it's your house. I mean, well, the sun is in your house, the moon is in your 7th house of relationships. So you are looking at a relationship shift, transformational, liberating from a relationship, realizing what you true, but these are contracted relationships. It can be a lawyer that you hire, it can be, what else? A business partnership, a contracted marriage partnership. The moon there, possible emotional conflict, and it's squaring Taurus in your 4th. So very good chance, Aquarians, if you're in a shaky living situation with relationships, that's going to come down, kaboomba. Sorry to put it that way. I shouldn't put it that way. Let's just say a shift in that area of your life.
Well, it may be a kaboomba, and sometimes kaboombas need to happen. So,
but
when you know ahead of time and you're able to, it's not that you can prepare, but it's like, okay, I see what's happening. I recognize that this is for my highest and best good, and it doesn't feel good and I don't like it, but here I am.
It's a tower card. This is a 16 lunation at 16 degrees, and they all are all year. And in tarot, that's the tower card. So Aquarians' whole lives are tower, boom, changing, completely shifting radically, liberating you from mentally, because we're talking air signs. So a lot of our liberation comes in our minds opening up. So mind opening, revelation. Whoa, Aquarians are going to go, wow, liberating themselves. Tower card, boom. Changing something about a relationship, becoming more creatively invested in the right relationships, heart relationships, friendships that are real, the tribe that's real, and then actually seeking more union with them and more projects with them, and kind of more committing to what is real you. But I see a radical realization as to what that is, and kind of recommitting in a way, a recommitment to a relationship or friendships that are real and right. And a wake up, bam. And then Taurus in your fourth house, good chance you're leaving or moving, or knowing that you want to move, very clearly deciding to move. And might all of a sudden be packing up your boxes and leaving that day. I mean, depending on what planets and where your ascendant falls. If your ascendant is 16 degrees Aquarius, there's a good chance you up and leave a situation. You are out of there. But Leo, you could suddenly get in a new relationship, fall in love with someone, and move in together and leave another living situation, and you realize who your true love is. You get into that relationship. Now, if you're already with your true love, you and your true love decide, we got to bail. We don't like living here. This isn't our heart home. We want our heart home together. And then or you become in a project with that person and you build a new home for each other. You decide to buy somewhere and build a land. And that is where you're going to be now for the next 25 years. We are stabilizing. If you're not living in the right situation, Aquarians, you're moving. If you can't be where you are right now, think about it. If you're Aquarius and where you are right now, if you don't see yourself there for another 25 years, start packing. Start throwing stuff away and give it to the donate stuff. By the way, also, this is the time of year in Vedic astrology, it's very good karma to donate in this energy for some reason. In these kinds of fixed energies, the more you donate, the more you're showing the universe you're not afraid of survival. And this energy, the sort of collective energy of this whole thing, is no longer act from a place of survival. Show the universe, you know you're going to survive. So you donate stuff. You go, I know I'm going to have more tomorrow.
I love that. That's super cool.
Yeah. So Aquarians, your life's radically shifting and changing. You're liberating, though. It's liberation. Stop. You're going to stop wasting your time with the wrong people, with the wrong things, with the wrong living situation. You're done. You're moving. You're leaving a situation. Good luck, guys.
Well, so what's interesting is that this card is the strawberry blossom, and it activates optimism and expect the best. So I feel like this is a true remedy for any of the Aquarians out there, because the question is, where do you feel like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop? Because that's kind of what it is. That's kind of what you were talking about. It's like kind of bracing. So this will really align you with the fact that even though that may feel like that, it's for the best, that it really is a good thing. So strawberry blossom,
nice,
is the Aquarian.
Well, what's interesting is it's first house, and the first house is Aries, which is a red energy, which is the red energy, and you got that red energy, and I'm just thinking, wow, that's so first house. So that really gives me another little added message for Aquarians, which is action time. Action. Things are you're going to be moving and busy. Yeah. And you have Aries in your third house, and that is a busy house. So
all right, let's get ready then.
Happy times for Aquarians. All right, Pisces. Okay. Saturn rules your 12th and 11th houses. So definitely letting go, ending tribes that are not in alignment with you, and then the soul tribe, your soul tribe, no doubt about it. Deep soul tribe connections, third house, Taurus, liberating you through communication day to day. Also, the third house is like people that you see on a regular basis. So some like can be your neighbors or family members. So there's some sort of relief through family member or brother or sibling or neighbor or people that you know on a day or that you're working with. They're hang on a minute. So third house is Taurus, Aquarius. Where's Aquarius hitting in your 12th house? Your true soul tribe coming through for you. So it's like, you're going to know now somebody that you've made friends with, Pisces, a connection through internet or just tribe. Your true ones are going to help you break through and liberate, help you out somewhere. And Leo is in your 6th house. So it's going to change your day to day. You're going to be busy. You have your moon there. This is intuitive knowing this is the right work for you. It is going to change your day to day. Anytime you get lunations in your 6th and 12th, you get busy. This is a busy energy for Pisces, busy time. You're going to suddenly be busy working. Both your working houses are both your busy houses. Your busy houses, you're going to be working. So it is a good energy in a way. I mean, now the challenging energy might be that you do let go because you've got Capricorn over your 11th house and you've got Scorpio. Where's Scorpio for Pisces? Why am I not finding Scorpio? In your 9th house. There is a radical opening up, an old toxic belief system going that opens you up to, actually, I think Pisces didn't know who their true tribe were. And now they've been a bit closed-minded. And now they open up and they have a belief shift that attracts, and they know their true tribe and their true tribe. And then you've got that 3rd house liberating through a small business or communications or writing projects or something opens up. And remember, Leo is always the energy of creativity for everybody across the board. So what'd you get for Pisces?
So Pisces is the red hibiscus. And this activates a fresh perspective. The message is hit the refresh button. Okay. And so this card too, because of the 12th house, it says here that it magnifies hope and relief and a sense of a new start and dissolves high stress, overwhelm, and the stress of long-term challenges. So I interpret this card to be related to that kind of the 12th house, that soul kind of completion energy that you're wrapping that up. And now there's an opportunity for a new beginning. But you might feel
Saturn is about to go onto their ascendant. Saturn, it's such an appropriate card. I can't believe you pulled that card. It made me even realize that I'm missing a very important part. To the point is that Saturn is going into their 1st house. So it is entirely what you're saying.
Yeah, it felt like that when you were talking about it too. And I know because my guy is Pisces ascendant, and I'm kind of looking at his astrology, and he's had a lot of 12th house activations that have been going on, 12th and 1st. And so a lot of inner, I don't know that he's been sitting in meditation reflecting, because that's not really who he is, but I definitely feel like there's been some time of health. He was sick. Getting over being sick, that 6th house health stuff. So he's a little ahead of this particular moon energy, but it's, it happens beforehand. Sometimes it's kind of that rolling flow.
Yeah. Yes. And because you see, we have the sun squaring the nodes right now. So the crisis could be building a little bit. That's tilting and then the moon because the moon is at 16. So before the moon reaches 16 degrees, it's going to square the nodes. So that's going to be a trigger point in a lot of people's charts. So even before the full moon hits, something could happen that tilts you, that makes you change direction. Node squares, that thing that happens that day is tilting you. That's the thing you look back at 10 years ago and you go, wow, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah. Oh, geez, that's making me think of a couple of different things that occurred because, we all have those moments that we look, like you said, you look back and you realize, wow, that one situation, that one person, that one, whatever it is,
that
shifted the trajectory of my life.
Yes.
Completely.
I met one girl in a coffee shop. I moved to this town. I didn't know anybody. And I was like, what am I going to do? I don't even know what I'm going to do for work or anything. I was just like, what am I going to do? I meet this one girl in a coffee shop, and I've met everybody in town through her. And I've like been busy because it's like she knew everybody. It was crazy. Like, boom, that happened, in one day. And that's kind of, I bet if I go back, I bet you that's a new moon or a full moon on one of my friendship houses, So yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, it is. So this full moon is going to be powerful, and it is really going to activate big shifts and changes, tower moments in a lot of our lives that permanently change our lives, in my opinion.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, all right, everyone.
Say bye to the past and hello to the new, and let it go. Let the past go. Don't hold on to anything. And even if you love it and it's just don't worry. I mean, like things you love, you just have to let go. We can't have everything.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think you can.
Yes.
But it's everything that you really, truly want and need.
Yes, exactly. Because the things I'm letting go of are stuff I don't really love. But you have an attachment or a comfort level attachment to it that isn't really serving you anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. I know this is inspiring me. Like I'm thinking, okay, I got to start cleaning and organizing and donating. Let's go.
Yeah. I know, me too. I'm thinking, I've got a pile of clothing right here that I'm getting rid of. I'm like getting rid of all my old clothes. Like I don't want synthetic clothing anymore. I want pure fabric. So it's like, these are the radical changes we're making. We're getting rid of this old thing. And
it's
a fresh start. That card was all about that.
It's so cool. It's so cool. So yeah, everybody, so obviously we failed at keeping it short, but there was so much here to share, and it really, flowed really nicely. And so hopefully if you stayed with us till the end, thank you. If you are watching, if you're watching this later, thank you. Either way, you stayed till the end because you're catching us here. Madelaine, before we wrap up completely, do you want to share a little bit about your upcoming workshops that are amazing?
Thank you. Yes, they're going fantastic. I do them every week, and we are booked for the next couple, but do sign up. Openings open up. Sometimes people can't make it. So I will contact me and I will send you the info of how to sign up, but they're really great. We look at everybody's transits. We get 20-minute reading per person. It's group. It's controlled and well organized, of course, but everyone gets to talk and interact about their charts and what they're going through. And we align you up, with awareness of what your chart's going on, and pull cards and have a great time. So it's fun.
Nice. That does. Yes. So fun. So fun. I don't have anything to share this minute of upcoming things, but if you are interested in receiving my kindness correspondence, where I do a recap of the moon energy, I share different aspects that might be showing up for us from an energetic standpoint. And there's an easy links to different things there. You can check that out on my website, and there's a link below here as well. And follow us on social. We both share, Madelaine shares a lot about the cosmic energy on her channel, along with some card reads and things. I do card reads and do my Wonder Wednesday little spiel where I just talk about what I'm wondering about and how it relates to people. And it's a place for you to share and tell your story if you feel like you want to. So great. On behalf of the cosmos and Madelaine and myself, we thank you so much for being here with us, and we look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks for the upcoming new moon in Pisces. Yeah,
0 degrees, I think, or 1 degree. Something. I
think
like
it's
that.
1. Yeah, I think it's 1, but still,
yeah,
it is. It is. So have fun with this full moon in Leo. It's going to be. It is. I mean, Leo was fun. So even through some of the trials, have a good time.
Just laugh through it all. That's going to be the biggest.
Do the best you can.
All
right.
Thanks, Amalia. Lots of love. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and see you all in a few weeks. Couple weeks.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.